Hey guys, welcome back to the Hear Me Roar pod. I am Toby and my co-host is none other than the Kate Save, which you might know her from Shark Tank. She's also founder of BeFit Foods and picked up Telstra's Business of the Year award too. Kate?
Well, Toby, you've got a super impressive CV, 25 years in global commercialisation experience, and you founded Creative Cubes, Australia's leading co-working space and real estate business.
All right, let's get on with the pod. Guess who's back?
Hey.
Back again.
Not Sim?
Not Sim.
No. How's life at home?
Kate, I don't know how. And
Single
I don't know
parent
why.
survive?
Not even that. I don't even know how I agreed to this.
Because you're a good
She
husband.
got me at a vulnerable moment.
Yeah.
Maybe. Or maybe I got her at a vulnerable... I don't know how it worked. She managed to scoop up a $1,200 ticket on a big red kangaroo, the big flying kangaroo, and jetted off to Los Angeles to see all of her friends.
Amazing.
For 2 weeks.
So
2 weeks.
good.
How did she get 2 weeks? Like how do we go to, you know what? Yeah, you should go and hang out. I know her friend Gubs from Sydney is flying there. So jump on the plane with her. And then like I'm preparing and I'm like, 2 weeks.
Good husband. Mine did the same for me for Africa. It didn't seem like 2 weeks because on the ground, I was sort of only on the ground 10 days, but there's days either side traveling. So I was gone 2 weeks. It's a lot. Yeah. You guys need a debrief.
Look, I'm earning brownie points. And you know what? I'm so happy that she's there. I really am. I like she's had it tough. Her mum's not well. And we've been dealing with it like almost 10 years now. And it's like the photos she's sending me with the biggest smiles on her face. It warms me, despite the fact that I'm not in hell. My girls are amazing.
Yeah.
My girls are amazing. But
Thank heavens they're at school.
I was about to say, like honestly, I cast my mind back to when they weren't at school.
Yes.
And we were like, I find myself being mum, dad, Uber driver, business owner,
Bank.
fitness. Oh, the bank, like if there's anything any in there. And then I would have had to be a school teacher if we were in lockdown. I mean, she wouldn't have gotten away, but because of lockdowns. But like, I'm grateful that my kids are in school at the moment. And I actually my kids changed schools during COVID.
Yeah.
They went from one school to another just because I just didn't feel like the education that they were getting at the one school was worth the dollars that I was spending. And so we made a decision to put them into the local primary school, Gardenvale Primary, amazing school. Yeah. Probably the best decision we've ever made.
Amazing. And there's nothing more important than education. Our next guest, Dr. Olga, is here to speak to us about education.
I like that. We'll be back after this break from Rise. Guys, I want to introduce you to Rise, a business cohort like no other. So what is the Rise Network? Rise Network is a curated inner circle of 10 to 12 like-minded peers designed to provide a confidential, high-trust environment where business owners and leaders can gain strategic insights, actionable solutions, and lasting relationships. Rise isn't just networking, it's a game-changing business support system. It has strategic problem solving built in, expert facilitation, actionable insights, long-term impact and authentic relationships, and it's based exclusively around high-trust cohorts. For your membership, you gain full access to Creative Cubes. That means you can drop in when you're on the run to use the meeting rooms, breakout spaces, or even just dock in for the day. We wanted to serve the underserved, the people that do need the help, do need the support, don't necessarily have the funds to be able to do it, and don't necessarily fit into one of these other organizations. And so that's where Rise kind of came from. So there you have it, guys. Go to werise.au, and I hope to see you at one of our cohorts soon. So just a call out, that ad was Rise. Olga and I are in the same Rise cohort.
We are.
Yeah.
We are.
Amazing.
Yes.
So-
Seeing each other regularly.
Yes. So Doc, welcome to the Doctor Education,
Doctor Study.
Doctor Study.
And yes, I'm Dr. Olga, founder and CEO of Doctor Study, and I'm here to talk all things education.
Now, you said you're quite polarising. Give it to us straight. What don't people like that you speak about education?
Well, I emphasise some of the hard truths. So the current state of education continues to decline. It was quite poor when I was a child and first came to this country, which forced my parents to take radical steps to intervene.
Where did you come from?
Soviet Union.
Yeah.
So they came from a very rigorous structure, which I also don't agree with. Even the standards in Australia, some 4 or 5 decades ago, with the old British O-level, A-level system, it was all focused on rote learning and making kids really miserable with the whole study process. I'm not about that. I'm about happy students being productive students. The research backs that up, and that's what we focus on. The issues are manifold now. We're dealing with a system across both primary and secondary where the curriculum has been so significantly watered down, it defies belief. Add to that the fact that teachers are under-resourced to facilitate this already depleted syllabus, and you just have problems, compounding problems, and ultimately the kids that pay the price are our kids, this generation. Some of the latest research that's come out of the US actually, and this was really confronting for me, shows that the 2 youngest generations at the moment, your Gen Z, your Gen Alphas, have been underperforming across cognitive functions as compared to previous generations, just with things like attitude, literacy, and broader IQ.
Is that because of the pandemic? Like,
The
is that
rise
is
of
that
edutech.
pardon?
The rise of edutech.
Right.
Thank you, COVID.
Yeah. Right.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yes. So a large part of that now, and we have the longitudinal data to back this up. One of the biggest things driving the decline in educational outcomes is the over-reliance on education technology. Now, I can't begrudge teachers. They use the very limited resources they have available to them. And there's no centralised system. So our kids, it doesn't matter what school they go to school and their teachers can pick any random thing to assign to them that day.
Right.
I bet you if I spoke to a teacher, where can you find the year 8 curriculum for maths term 1, week 3? They wouldn't even know where to find it.
Wow.
Our teachers don't know what to refer to, but what they do know is it's not worth even referring to because there's nothing there that can help them. Instead, they use American sites like Twinkle and they download random worksheets and they give them to our kids. So that's particularly prevalent in primary school. You would have seen what your girls came home with, right? Random worksheets. You know, one week they'll do money math, another week they'll do fractions, another week they'll do geometry. You can't learn maths that way.
Yeah.
But the teachers are filling their scorecard, so they're doing their jobs. All right? So many problems. The reality is primary school, it's free daycare. In the case of private schools, it's expensive daycare. All right? I'm not against private schools. My 2 kids go to a private school, but I send them there with my eyes wide open.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't send them there for the academics. The academics, they get at Doctor Study. I send them there for the social stratification, so I have some control over the types of people they're socialising with. I send them there for the facilities, because facilities at private schools are far superior to your public school options. And I also send them there for accountability. I'm a paying customer. You're accountable to me. If I'm not satisfied with something, you will take a meeting, we will discuss it and come up with a plan of action. They're the main reasons.
I'm shitting myself right now.
If you care about academics, though, then the final reason you send them to a private school is because you're paying for the ranking of that school. The higher the ranking of the school, the easier it is to secure a high ATAR. That's what people don't want to talk about.
That's super interesting. I've never thought about it like that from an education perspective. I send my kid to a private school. My youngest doesn't. She goes to public school. But my oldest is in a, and I go to Saturday sports and I feel like I've won the lotto because the facilities are amazing.
Yes.
The camaraderie is great. The community is fantastic. I don't really know much about the education though. It's sort of like not my suit.
Unfortunately, you'll find out about it typically when it's too late. And that's what I see.
Right.
So I've got a mix actually. Most recent immigrant families are very proactive about seeking out tutoring. Alternatively, there's no nice way to put this really, but your true blue multi-generational Aussie families, they tend to be more reactive when it comes to tutoring. So they will engage your services when there have already been red flags raised at the school. And schools are great at doing that, by the way. They make it your fault, your problem.
Wow.
You send your kids to them full time and they say, well, your kid's no good at this. How do they say that with a straight face? That is literally your job to help them.
And it's all about a diagnosis now, isn't it, too? That everyone's an exception.
Post-COVID, that's gone through the roof. So we've seen the number of vulnerable students, even that walk through our doors, have increased exponentially post-COVID. Parents and families coming to me desperate for diagnoses because they want to secure funding or they want to secure additional opportunities for their children. Ultimately, it is another part of the problem, because where I do really sympathise with teachers is that they're not taught as part of their degree how to handle kids with ADHD or ASD or any of the abbreviations. But they're just magically expected to.
Even your child that has no diagnosis but says, I can't concentrate. When I hear that, all I think about is the instant stimulation that they're getting from devices or whatever else. No wonder you can't concentrate, because you're flicking screens every 3 seconds.
Yep.
So
I recognize that in myself.
Like
a video will start, like, move it on. And I was like, the video, I didn't even get 30 seconds in. Let's move it on. I can only imagine what someone that's not conscious about it, i.e. a young kid.
And who's growing up with it. That's been their norm since they were probably 2 years old, 1 year old. That instant gratification, that overstimulation. And look, there's a lot of research suggesting that that has an impact on learning difficulties and behavioural difficulties, and that's a whole other gamut. For me, I do not pigeonhole kids. I do not treat kids in any one universal way. There is only one thing that I have that is a blanket rule, and that is everybody can be helped. I don't care your diagnosis, I don't care your label, I don't care your attitude, I don't care your experience, I don't care your age and stage. There is absolutely a way forward for everybody.
Aren't all of these geniuses in the world all got all their diagnosis? You've said that on another episode. So it doesn't actually, maybe this is a benefit. This is what you need to exceed in a world that's normal.
So I think there's like 100 different things and 100 different ways we can go on this conversation. But like, I know when I went to school, my entrepreneurial brain didn't think like 99% of the year. So I was an outcast from that standpoint, never felt like I belonged. And then entrepreneurship became cool, man. And some of my wildly academic friends are like, damn, dude, like, how do you do that? And so I resign on the fact that I think there's a place for everyone in this world. I want to shift the gear a little bit because I want to bring some attention back to doctor study. So we understand, I understand, or we understand as parents what the pandemic did. And I can see, I've actually repeated my youngest, actually repeated both of them. But I repeated my oldest one because she came from the US and was old for the year, but young for she needed to stay down. And then I repeated my youngest one because these were the most informative years for her. She's in grade 5 at the moment. We're in 2026 as we air this podcast. And so, she was in grades 1, 2, 3 during the pandemic. And so I repeated her, I think we repeated her in 3 just because she didn't, because her parents don't know, i.e. myself and Simone, we were thrust into educating our kids, and we're not those people, right? And so Harper had a setback in terms of her inability to do stuff. So I get that, and I think people listening to this show understand, and maybe their parents, they didn't repeat their kid, but we know that there's issues because the kids literally missed 2 years of school. And our kids are similar age.
Yeah, mine were prep 1 and 2
Yeah.
and then, grade 2, 3, 4. So similar, yeah.
Yeah. And so what is Dr. Study? How is your organization helping parents that unfortunately for them were not akin to the reality of the situation, and their kids are falling behind a little bit, and they're probably like drowning in a world that they just don't understand or don't know. I know I was one of them. I'm just thankful that Sim sort of like had some nous and navigated us through it. But like, what's Dr. Study doing today, and what's the sort of solutions and services and experiences that you guys are providing to help families and specifically the kids?
Well, look, on a personal note, let me tell you, despite what I do for a living, during COVID, I refused to put on the teacher hat. I am mama, and that's a hard enough job. And there's a lot of research that has proven that when a parent or close relation tries to teach their child STEM or technical skills, there's a mechanism in our kids' brain that flicks up and all they hear is la, 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 la. They don't want that from us.
Yeah.
It's not that you're a bad teacher or they're bad students. You're just literally going against nature. All right? We're there to teach them soft skills, right from wrong, good and bad, values, religion, all of that beautiful stuff. They want all of that from us. But as soon as we enter the technical realm, they feel judged. Okay, so maybe only in very small doses. But it should never have come to a point where we were the primary teachers. It was never going to work. Now, Dr. Study went through a lot during COVID because we had actually only expanded into our now main campus in Mulgrave September of 2019. And then COVID hit March 2020. So we were only 5 months in and we were focused on our physical campus, on our pen to paper worksheets, because we use education technology as a supplementary tool, not a primary learning tool. And so I scrambled, and I'll get very real with you guys. 3 weeks into that first lockdown, I was in the same pair of pajamas. I didn't brush my teeth. I didn't have a shower. I didn't leave my office. My husband brought me all my meals. I was a mess because I literally built out a whole LMS in that 3 weeks because I'm like, if I don't do it, no one's going to do it.
Yeah.
So we built out an incredible LMS which enabled us to help our students transition as smoothly as possible to this online learning world, but still applying the pedagogy that is tried, tested, that we know works for kids. So using a combination of mixed method teaching and learning approaches. We do not pigeonhole students at Dr. Study. What do I mean by that? At the moment, all of our kids go to school. You're in year 5, you're in the year 5 class. You're in year 8, you get schlepped into a class of year 8 kids. No matter your stage, no matter your ability, no matter your level of vulnerability, we pigeonhole kids. Maybe the teacher will get through to you, maybe he or she won't. That's the reality. What we do is we assess every individual student and we develop a learning plan and program that is specifically designed to help that student reach and even exceed their potential. All right. So our initial assessments are the most comprehensive out there. We assess mathematical mechanics, numeracy application, literacy reading comprehension, spelling vocabulary, writing, science, and self-reflection. Okay, which no other tutoring place does because they don't care.
Yeah.
Every other tutoring place does more of what the kids are already doing at school. You're in grade 5? Great. You can register and attend our grade 5 class. You're in year 8? Great, you can register and attend our year 8 class. With Dr. Study, okay, this is your ability, we're going to roadmap this out. In 3 months, we're going to fill in these gaps. By 6 months, you're going to be accelerated to this standard by Australian standards and to this standard by international standards. Because I'll have you know, Australia is roughly 2 years behind the rest of the world.
Ooh,
And that includes
scary.
the developed world.
And what about Victoria?
Victoria is interesting because
drop.
the only compulsory subject in Victoria is English.
Yeah, well.
So they introduced foundation maths a couple of years ago. I predict that's with a view to reintroduce maths as a compulsory subject for VCE. And they had to make it foundation because there's no way known that if it's compulsory, our kids would pass anything else. And the hardest thing in foundation maths, honestly, I think it's fractions. It is year 4 maths.
Yeah, wow.
It's astonishing to me what I'm seeing because our own curriculum is being ignored, neglected, and it's simply because the government doesn't want to do what's going to cost a lot of money but will actually result in meaningful change. What does the government do when it comes to funding schools? They invest in flashy buildings, things that parents can see and students can touch, and better offices for teachers and better libraries. They always spend the money on facilities. The last big investment they made in terms of academics was promoting essential assessments. They're great assessments, by the way. I love them. Developed by a former maths teacher. Fantastic. My problem with them is, shouldn't we teach kids before we assess them? You know, we're always putting the cart before the horse with education, and the biggest losers are our kids. I see it every year. When the kid goes from year 6 to year 7, if they've had no tutoring, they fail their first maths and English assessments without fail. Without fail. If they go to a decent school, they will inevitably fail.
I saw an email from my daughter yesterday to her teacher. She copied me in from her school email address, which is
Love
like
that.
it's mind-boggling to me that she's doing that. She's like, she's actually the lead in the Beauty and the Beast show at the moment at her school. And so she's got 5 nights of being the lead. She's angling tomorrow for a day off, but I'll probably give it to her, but I'm going to let her make her work for it a little bit.
Oh.
She sent an email to her teacher saying, "Hi, I really don't want to fall behind. I'm doing this, this, and this, and I've got these commitments this week with the show. Can you please not penalize me? I'm very sorry. I'm just trying to be upfront and honest with you." I was blown away. Firstly, she copied me in, but moreover, just the way they're communicating, the sort of her ability to recognize that she's actually not going to get home and do her homework. So she's flagging early that other commitments have taken priority. And so I'm desperately waiting for the teacher's response, because if I was to get that from a student, I'd be like, oh, it's like, you know.
I'd be impressed with
I
that.
would be
She's
too.
taking responsibility
Yeah.
and she's trying to remedy the situation reasonably.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, so I'm on a similar email, except my daughter had done all her homework when I got home. It was about, I don't know, 7 o'clock, and she started reading it to me. And it's online. There was about 25 pages. And anyway, we got to the end of it, and she said, "I just need to take a photo of all my workings out of my maths." And she's gone upstairs, and I'm doing the dishes. And then she comes running down, "Help, help, I can't find it." And all her work's gone. It's now like 8:30. I'm like, you don't have time to do it. She said, "I think the teacher knows." He presses, Control Z or something like that. And I'm like, oh, I don't think that's going to work on this. But anyway, she went to school and she asked him on his lunch break, do you mind having a look? My work's here and I can't find it. And he's like, "You sure you did it?" And it would be very hard for a teacher to discern which students said they did their homework and didn't do it and which ones didn't. Anyway, she came home a little bit upset that maybe he didn't believe her. She's a good student. I'm sure he did, but she's like, "Can you please write him an email?" And I literally read the whole lot because my husband was cooking dinner. So I'm like, I will take this seat and not have to do anything in the kitchen. And anyway, waiting to see the response.
So, but are they on Google Workspaces for school? Because my daughter's on G Suite.
Intranet, nah.
And so all of that stuff is like, variation controls. You can see all the work.
Not that I could see on this, but maybe. Who knows?
Interesting.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to link Dr. Study's details and Olga's details in the show descriptions below. It sounds like I know I've helped this.
Do you do it online for people that are listening?
Yes.
Yes. And so they don't need to come to a physical campus?
No, they
They can
don't.
be anywhere in Australia?
Anywhere in
It
Australia.
doesn't matter curriculum-wise? No?
Doesn't matter.
Great.
We cover all of the curriculum.
And criteria in terms of how many hours a week or those sorts of
That'll
things?
be individually recommended. So they start with a free assessment
Yeah.
and then we make a recommendation specific to their needs and goals.
Amazing.
So mums and dads, if you're listening and you're having a bit of a challenge, I'm grateful that my wife, I was able to, she's got a bit of a muscle in this space, and was able to help Harper get what she needed to bring her back to par. But I can tell you, if I didn't have her, I wouldn't know what to do. So doctorstudy.com.au.
Doctorstudylearning.com.au.
There you go. It's all in the show notes, guys. If you want to click on the below and connect with Olga as well on LinkedIn, it's all there for you. We'll be back after a quick word from Luna. weareluna.co is a great place for you and your business to start off with phenomenal accounting and legal services. So if you're a startup or a scale-up looking for legal and finance support, or alternatively looking to raise capital, weareluna.co is where you need to be starting off.
Wow, I can just imagine what this episode will do for parents that are sitting there going, that's my child, that's my child.
Yep.
How do I get help? What do you mean this is normal that they're falling behind? Like that was pretty alarming that from grade 6 to year 7, they're going to suffer.
Yeah, and I can tell you firsthand, it's there.
Yeah.
I don't think Harper specifically is unique.
Yeah.
I think Harper was swept up in the net of the lack of education for a very extended period of time during foundational years of her life. And so, I think that this is a great way for parents to, at the very least, when we heard from Olga, when she signed off, there was, free assessment.
Yeah.
So at the very least, you can go and get an assessment, understand the levers, and work out what's in it for you.
And I love that she assesses, the gaps in the learning rather than just meeting the curriculum, because we're not those sort of people that just tick the box.
No.
And you don't want your child learning to be a tick the box activity, because
No.
what are you putting out into the world?
That's right.
Yeah.
Amazing episode, guys. Show notes below for everything that you need. Okay, we'll see you on the next one.
See you then.